welcome back, and today we're going to break down some helpful tips when it comes to communicating in squad. This is a significant portion of this game, your ability to communicate, work together with your team, and hopefully win some rounds together. So if you're new here, hit the subscribe button, leave a like, and drop a comment down below with your thoughts or any helpful tips around communicating with your teammates, and let's get to it. So real quick, let's go over a couple of basic things. If you're relatively new to squad, you do need to make sure that you have a microphone. It would be extremely helpful if your teammates can hear your callouts or what's going on around you, either in local or your squad chat. There's a lot of times where even basic communication can be better than no communication at all, so I'd definitely recommend making sure to have a decent microphone. Now let's start off by talking about the channels that you're going to communicate within and what's helpful within those channels. First of all, you have the local channel, which is going to show up light blue as you're speaking or others are speaking around you. You can hit the letter V as the default option on your keyboard. V is going to allow you to talk to people within about 50 meters. That is strictly limited to your team. And keep in mind that with local, the voice sort of falls off with distance, so it may still be tough for someone 50 meters away to hear what you're saying. This is your channel for communications within the area that you're operating within. For example, if you are taking fire from a specific direction, you can call that out in local, informing anyone near you that may also not be a part of your squad. This is helpful because then it can allow multiple squads to understand what's happening in a specific area or where enemy fire is coming in from. So a lot of the things that happen within a firefight are better presented typically in local to the folks around you. Obviously, some stuff may need to be translated in squad chat, but we'll get to that in a minute. Calling out important actions like that you're going to throw a frag, that you need to reload, that you're pinned down by some sort of enemy fire in a specific direction. Maybe you need to have people clear backblast behind you because you're an AT. Those can all be local chat items that can go to the people around you to help effectively fight. Now, in addition to your local proximity chat, you also have your squad chat, which is a radio communication between everybody in your squad. And you can utilize this channel by hitting B as the default key on your keyboard. And again, this is limited to just your own squad. And on your HUD, squad chat will actually show up as green, unlike the blue for local. Now, there can be a lot of crossover between the things that are communicated via local or proximity chat along with what is communicated in your squad chat. Sometimes it's almost one and the same, or it's treated as one and the same, but that's not necessarily the best way to handle it. The squad chat needs to be an area where the FTLs and the squad leader can help gain helpful intel from all the boots on the ground within the squad to make marks on the map and communicate things to other SLs via the command chat that the SL has. Typically, the SL will use the squad chat to help give some sort of objective or tasking to FTLs along with the squad itself. And then in return, obviously, all those boots on the ground are going to provide valuable intel to the squad leader and the FTLs. That way, marks can be made on the map that can be translated to the team with ease. Now, if you're using local or proximity chat to help communicate things in a specific firefight within an area, then you can help keep squad chat a little bit more clear, allowing for a better flow of communication to everyone in squad chat. It's also helpful because not everyone in your squad may be within that 50-meter radius that needs to know the exact things happening in that space that you're fighting. Now, it's important to obviously translate some information via squad chat, for example, that there are enemies in the area, which is, again, part of the idea of sort of translating things into squad chat that need to go to the FTLs and the squad lead, so the squad lead can make decisions around positioning of that group. The squad chat can largely be about directions coming in from the squad leader, maybe the FTLs, while intel moves from all the boots on the ground to the FTLs and to the squad leader. And that squad leader is going to translate that to command chat, which is the third layer of communication, and the command chat is limited to only the squad leads on a team. Now, if you are a squad lead and you do want to talk in command chat, the default key on the keyboard for that is the letter G. And this channel will show up as yellow on your HUD. Now, as you can imagine, since this is limited to all the squad leaders, this channel is primarily used for strategy or tactics or callouts with regards to enemy positions or enemy vehicle positions. So typically the command chat and staging phase is largely about who is going where. And then after that, during a round, it's largely about calling out enemy positions and kind of assigning who or what squad is going to help handle certain things, whether it be capping an objective or playing defense. Maybe it's about the armor and where they're going to attack an enemy tank. So with all these levels of communication, you create sort of a hierarchy of how things work. Someone in local chat or proximity chat may see an enemy vehicle. That may be called up into squad chat, which the SL then translates in command chat. This makes it so that all the information that starts at the local proximity level can be translated to the entire team, so the entire team can make pretty good decisions about how to handle or address something that the enemy may be doing or their positions. If this is all done very efficiently, This team can just be a wrecking ball in any given situation. Armor SLs can react to armor very quickly and efficiently, as can infantry to various situations, for example, different ways of attacking or getting attacked and defending different objectives. So now that we have a pretty good understanding of the layers of communication within a squad, let's talk about ways to improve your callouts and basically giving some very simple tips on how to make callouts effective, whether it's in local chat, command chat, or squad chat. Probably one of the easiest ways to help improve your callouts is to follow the 3 Ds: description, direction, and distance. Your description should largely be about what you see. Is it infantry? Is it a logistics vehicle, a transport? Is it an APC or IFV? Is it a mobile gun system or a tank? Is it a light vehicle, open top or RWS? Or maybe you just see some emplacements down on the ground which can help narrow down where an enemy hab or fob may be. Now, the more specific your description of whatever you see is, the better, because if you see a bunch of infantry, for example, and you see a lat or a hat, you may need to warn your friendly vehicles not to cross through that area. If you see an SL, potentially there could be a rally and maybe more infantry with them. But it's not just about what you see, it's also about what you hear. For example, it's not difficult to tell the difference between the sound of an M4 versus the sound of an AK-12. You can also tell the difference between enemy vehicles. For example, a Bradley is going to sound different than a BMP-2. That's not limited to its engine. You can also tell the difference based on the sound of its main armament. So while engine sounds can be indicative of what type of vehicle it is, so can being able to hear tires or tracks, the low rumble of the tracks versus the lighter sound of the tires in the distance. There's plenty here that can go into helping understand what's going on around you so that you can describe it to your squad. Now, when it comes to the direction of whatever you're describing, you want to at least use cardinal directions. North, west, south, east, something to indicate where that vehicle, where that infantry is. Even if you're just saying northwest or southwest and you're not giving the number down, it's still more helpful than not giving a direction at all. Now, a lot of times, whatever you see or are describing or hearing could be moving. It may not be a static object. Therefore, adding in something along the lines of a general direction from which it came to where it's going can be really helpful for those around you. This can be really pivotal when allowing vehicles on your team to know where enemy vehicles are. For example, if there's about to be a tank fight, giving some indication that a vehicle may be moving west to east could be really significant in positioning for that tank. This is often where FTLs need to be on their game. I typically don't want FTLs being traded between people too often. It gets a little bit distracting and is taking people out of the moment because then they have to switch their FTL to somebody else. Whereas good communication and directions from an infantry member of your squad can help the FTL just make some marks that the squad leader then can use to reference to provide information back to command chat. This can also be really helpful if your FTLs are working closely with that fire team so that marks can move quickly and there's less trading or passing of the fire team lead. A lot of this will come with more awareness when you're playing and general understanding of the maps, what is going on situationally. You'll be able to determine direction a little bit easier. But giving this information, you've covered 2 of the 3 Ds and given a decent call out. But if you want to get a little more sophisticated, we should incorporate distance. This can sometimes be a little bit more difficult to add into your call out because it takes some game experience and understanding of distances generally. If you have good game awareness, you may be able to understand how far a vehicle is just by the sound. For example, many engine sounds are audible within about 300 meters. Now, that kind of goes against some of the new BMP sounds and the M13. You're actually going to hear those from a little bit further out, something like 500 meters. But it gives you some range, right? You may hear a logistics or transport truck engine within the 300 meters and only hear the tires between 300 and 500 meters. Understanding what's in your proximity, so let's say about that 50 to 100 meter range, is pretty important. But if you can sometimes just give some sort of geographic information about where something is. For example, if you can't see it because it's beyond a tree line ahead of you, that information can give you some form of distance, and that's something you can pass along to your squad. So don't think that you have to know every distance. For example, it may be tough to know if something is 350 meters away, but you know it's next to the house on the other side of the lake, and that can at least give some indication of where something is or the distance that it is once the SL is able to mark it. While the 3Ds may help formulate the callout itself, it's important to remember the ABCs. Now, not to add another acronym and all that to this list, but accuracy, brevity, and clarity are also important. The accuracy of your callout is important because it helps your team plan around whatever that callout is. Brevity is significant because the longer the callout drags out, the more distracting it can be, and the more difficult it becomes to relay to other groups, other squads, or the team itself. And then, of course, clarity. If the callout is unclear, for example, if you give two opposing directions to describe whatever you're talking about, it's going to be almost impossible for the SL to really be able to pick up on whatever you're describing to then translate it to the team. The ABCs really help with refining what you're saying in any of the voice chats available to you. So for example, it may be as simple as calling out an LAV6 that is north of your location, and it should be pretty simple, as in LAV6 north 250 meters of sleigh. Now I'm adding my name in there just in case someone's unfamiliar with my voice. Maybe a squad lead doesn't know my voice, therefore they can check the map to find my location and then mark the vehicle 250 meters to my north. In addition to 250 meters north, it may be helpful to give it some sort of geographic reference. It may be helpful to say 250 meters north next to the objective or to the west of the objective. Something short or sweet to help give a visual reference to where the vehicle is to help with the call and the map mark. Plenty of this comes with game awareness and just understanding things like the map, the terrain, the geography, and stuff like that to be able to apply it to your call out, as well as knowing vehicles, kits, just to make your description of whatever you see or hear more specific. I hope if you're relatively new to Squad, this helps give you some ideas about how communication typically should work in Squad, as well as some ideas about how to improve your callouts. And if you did enjoy the video, obviously hit the subscribe button, leave a like, and drop a comment down below with your thoughts, and I'll see you next time.